Monday in Bali. This is a rather non-typical environment for me to go live, honestly. I had to invent, I had to find solutions, and it just proved to me again what is important to me. So I'm actually in a phone booth just to guarantee quality internet here. I did not expect that, but it is actually a very dear topic to me today. So this is why I just, ran over to this workspace and rented out a phone booth just to make sure that I get this message over. So today I really wanted to talk about masculinity, the masculine in us, and how we are as masculine as guys. I also want to touch briefly on gay culture, and how we as men relate to gay people. I also want to share with you a brief thought on shame and how that relates to us as men. And I really hope that you have just a couple of minutes time to listen into it. I promise you it's not going to take too long, 10 minutes tops, but it's very important to me just to keep the pace going. So let's listen in. What is a man in today's society? Now, that is a super big question, right? Like, what is it that we define as a man? And so, when researching and working with a lot of men, what I found is that there is not one typical man. On the contrary, there's a lot of different men. So we have like the businessman, we have the strong man, we have like the hipster man, we have an influencer man. Um, so we have like the spiritual man. I mean, there's plenty of versions of men, and I'm very sure that this counts for women as well. But especially when we are trying to define our stereotypes, it becomes very difficult when we realize that there's actually not one correct man. There's not one way that we can say, like, this is a man, this is supposed to be the right man, so we're supposed to do. On the contrary, and this is where we as men say, me as a man, and I can only ever talk from my own perspective, okay? Just honest. Where it becomes very difficult to satisfy the idea of what a man really is. Um, so, what I found to be very important to me when it comes to how I can be a better man is to be authentic. Okay, so as I said, like I'm inventing here, like I'm trying to make do, and I feel rather nervous sometimes in front of these calls, just to be very authentic and just to share exactly how I feel. And then there is no one man, there's no one type that we can try to box ourselves in. On the contrary, that's exactly when we as men become individuals and honor ourselves just to be as authentic as we can. And we do have emotions. We do not know how to deal with them. Okay, not many of us anyway, not all of us, but some, like myself, are very overwhelmed by our emotions every now and again. And so that makes it very difficult to um, say, actually speaking them, because I don't even know what I feel sometimes. So I actually have to learn what is it that I'm actually feeling? What is it that I can, how can I then speak that truth? How can I share that with other people? And so once I recognize that um, my authentic self is the only man that I can ever really be. Otherwise, I'm trying to become a copy of someone else's expression of how they perceive themselves as men. And so that's very difficult for young guys, like young people becoming men, how to grow into in such big shoes. It's very tricky because the way that we learn in our society how a man is supposed to behave um, really puts a lot of pressure on us. We're supposed to always find solutions. We're supposed to be as hard and as unpenetratable around our emotions as possible. We're supposed to always be the fastest learners, the quickest studies, and so forth and so on. So that's super tricky as a man, honestly. Um, and so that is why it's also tricky when a man then finally grows up and realizes some women just tend to not want to connect to you. Why? What did I do wrong? What kind of man do I have to become in order to connect with women? And then maybe a woman says, yeah, I just don't feel you, man. Like it's difficult to talk with you. Why is that? Because maybe she is so in tune with her emotions and realizes that I'm not authentic, that I'm trying to cover up, that I'm trying to express myself I'm actually not feeling. And that becomes very difficult for many women. I've experienced that because at some point it's just ugh, for I don't know like how many have already told me that, saying something of the sort like, why can't you just say what you think? Where she actually meant, why can't you just say what you feel? Yeah, so just around touching the topic of what is a man really today. There is no one stereotype. There is literally none. The only thing that we can do, also, here a big question to women. Can you do me a favor? The next time that you're intimate with a man, ask him how he feels. And when he says good, tell him that there is no good. Please become more accurate because we understand this kind of language. If you're telling me, man, like there is no good, just tell me really what you feel. What is it that is alive in you? Well, and then that needs time. Please give me time. I have, I feel a little rigid. Maybe I feel uncertain right now what to do. Okay, now we can talk. And now, the more we are actually practicing that and getting also the space to practice that, the more we can enjoy incredible relationships of so many different sorts. Okay, so here's my appeal to you men, and here's my appeal to you women. Help each other, help us in order to just feel more, be more authentic, and develop more of that courage of truly step into your emotions, step into who you are, what you feel, what is important to us, and maybe that's different to what the next man feels is important. Just find that courage in you and be authentic. I know it's way easier to just simply try and copy, but I promise you, the more you are actually investing into what you love, what you feel, the more you're actually connecting with your life, and you can create something unique. Otherwise, you will always only connect and create a copy. Let me tune into the second question that I have prepared. How are we as men? Now, that's an interesting question. When I'm looking at the male society today, and I'm honestly, this is just my opinion, okay? So, when I'm looking at the male society today, what I notice is that there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fragile egos, there's a lot of how do I put that? There's a lot of desperation for validation. There's a lot of pleasing, saying like, "Can you please show me love?" And I'm as I said, this is just my opinion. Okay, I'm not saying like this is it, but this is how I see it. And maybe that's also a little biased from my own point of view because this is what's alive in me every now and again. So we as men were actually trying to create a world that is safe, trying to create a world that is suited for everyone. We try to create solutions that fit all needs. We're trying to create a utopia, and we're failing miserably. I mean, the result is it's not even it's not even working. So yeah, this is how I see the male society really, and we need a lot of waking up. We need a lot of checking in if we want to turn around because women have depended on us for a long, long time, and we in turn have suppressed a lot of them. So yeah, it's not working really. We have to change a lot of things. Whatever has gotten us to this point of in time, to this moment in our society, in our development, cannot get us further than it does. Like so, um, let's change maybe our approach. And I would like to just drop a thought in here. What could we do as men in order to help turn around the wheel? And I'm not talking about going for retreats or going in a monastery or anything or cut off the penis. This is not solving the problem. But it kind of like links into the first question. If I am able to have quality connections and quality conversations with other men, with women too, where I'm able to share my thoughts and maybe share that I'm insecure sharing my thoughts. If I'm taking up that courage and um, trying to ask maybe my, the person that I'm talking to, so what do you think about that? Instead of trying to prove a point all the time, this is the right thing and this is only how we should do it. So this would really help us big time if we just take that moment and try to tune into other men, other women, and try to convey how we feel and maybe ask for an opinion instead of trying to prove a point. And sadly enough, a lot of women have adopted this kind of behavior in order to match us and somehow, get along with us a little better. And so now we have really difficult conversations every now and again. So we as men, we have to up-level our communication skills, period. Okay? If we really want to change something here, we really need to change how we speak and how we listen. Right. So let me tune into the last one and then I'll let you go. The last topic that I want to share with you is like, how can we relate to gay culture? Now, that is very interesting. I have a couple of very dear friends to me who are gay and they're happy being gay. But I also know, because some of them I coached, that they had big troubles coming out of the closet. And it was not easy, and it still is not easy every now and again to simply state and say and be authentic in their desires and how they would like to engage in sex and whatever they love to do. So here's what I see. The gay man, and again, it's a version of a man, is way closer to the female than the average, say, the average stereotypical strong man or businessman. And that is very difficult for them because they incorporate oftentimes, after my experience, a part of the male energy that is desperate and right now really needs to reconnect to the female. The female being soft and flowy and chaotic, absolutely. And so gay men are kind of like the link. So what I found talking to a gay man has been so fruitful to me because there's so many different angles that I sometimes don't see. And they're just way closer to that understanding of women and how they are, because they incorporate a lot of their attributes, but still being a man. And so I think we should be really grateful how many gay men are taking it upon themselves to step out into the open and be more vulnerable, be more authentic, and sharing what they like, what is important to them. And we, as, say, straight men, we should really make an effort to connect more with them and learn from them, because they are literally the link of what is missing right now in today's society. I'm not saying that everybody should go gay. That's not what I'm saying. On the contrary, what I mean is be more authentic and then connect to your missing link. And maybe sometimes get out of your comfort zone and speak to people that you usually don't, to simply understand how they perceive life, how they perceive maybe you. So I really hope after this little rant, you could take away something from it. And in any case, if you have any kind of thoughts, right? I mean, masculine, wow, the divine feminine, the whole topic is huge. And I'm very sure that you have opinions, and I would love to learn your opinion. I would love to talk with you about it. If you have any kind of thoughts toward it. Also, maybe if you feel like this is complete bullshit what I'm sharing, please do also tell me. I would love to talk with you about that too. So that being said, I hope you have an incredible week ahead. I wish you the best of kickoffs for your new week. And I'm really looking forward to touch base with you again. Take care and much love to you. You're an amazing being.